it's the best practice in the world. Like if you really want to live and you really want to create a community, go to Burning Man and practice, because there's no better grounds.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. This is Chris Assad on behalf of Face the Current. We're at the Freedom Culture Camp with the man, Stephen Brooks, inspirational representative and co-founder of the Envision Festival here in Costa Rica. Stephen, welcome.
Thank you.
It's great to be here with you, brother.
Yeah. How lucky we are.
How lucky we are indeed. How's your day going so far?
All the places we could be, here we are. Incredible. Oh, my day has been incredible. Yeah, I just walking around and just watching so many people just with these eyes just so wide open and so inspired. I feel like people are so inspired, and it's just kind of happening collectively, almost like people are being contaged with just, being jolted with, wow, this tastes so good. This feels so good to be living like this, and why can't it be like this all the time? And I think what we're trying to show people is that it can. It can, but it's like we're only limited by our own fear and our own, being stuck in this old way of doing things. And I think our goal here is to show people that we can do anything, and that it could be like this all the time. Where I live on a farm in the Caribbean of Costa Rica called Punta Mona, and it is a lot like this all the time. We play music and we pray to our food and we circle, and there's usually a lot of people there, and there's people from all over the world, and the conversations around the dinner tables are always deep and always exploring how can we do better, how can we do more, how can we redesign these structures and these ways that we're living on a physical level. Like how can we physically buy land and start subdividing it in ways where we can live that's really conducive to living in community, while trying to figure out ways to socioeconomically make it work, where people could still have one foot in this old kind of capitalistic financial reality while stepping into a way that's going to start kind of moving away from that. So yeah, it's an interesting transition. It's an interesting dance.
It is. It's a very interesting time to be alive.
Yes.
Beautiful opportunity sits in front of us. So I'm curious to know, how did we get here? Meaning this creation, this manifestation of a vision that is Envision, that you've had so much to do with on so many levels. How did this come to pass?
We were a core crew in 2010 meeting. I would say the core came from, Brent, one of our partners who's no longer involved is this guy, Brendan Jaffer, and myself were our big old time burner. Burning Man. Yeah, Burning Man. I went to my first Burning Man in 2001, and I've been to 15 of the last 18. And I sit here with the two of you right now, and it almost makes me have a little bit of a difficult time trusting either of you, as you've never been to Burning Man. And I'm just joking, but I'm kind of joking. I have a hard time fully trusting people. Not trusting, but like, man, you really want to do this? You really want to dive into this world? Go to Burning Man. And I also don't trust people that don't like durian. If you don't like to eat durian, I don't trust you.
So what is it about what you get at Burning Man that you think is such a necessary life skill?
Yeah, I mean, Burning Man, it's, grown to 70 or 80,000 people, and it's a true experiment of, questioning everything and testing the limits of what's possible of an artistic reality for humanity. And it's the peak. It's the peak expression of humanity, and it's like, if we really want to recreate things, we have to understand its peak. We got to understand the finest gathering of human beings on the planet. And I'm sure that's it. I'm sure. I've never been to the Kumbh Mela in India, but I just know that Burning Man is so deep, and I see what it does to so many people. It's just the way it inspires. And every year I say, I'm not going next year. Usually my dad makes me go.
Wow.
My dad's been to, this year was my dad's burn mitzvah. It was his 13th. It was my burn sieta, my 15th.
You must have a cool dad.
Yeah, he's really cool.
That's hilarious.
And it's really a really important gathering, and it's really, for people that are dedicated, because basically it is a cluster of thousands of communities converging.
Yes.
Because every camp is such a big task to pull off, that all of a sudden you have all of these, communities that are it's the best practice in the world. Like if you really want to live and you really want to create a community, go to Burning Man and practice, because there's no better grounds.
Yeah, and we spoke earlier about the medicine of an experience like this, the medicine that happens when people come together in a sacred space, in an intentional space to talk or vision or share ideas, and how when it gets scaled to that size, maybe does something get lost in translation? And even if it does, what's the value of that large convergence of people in those kinds of settings as far as that medicine goes being delivered?
For me, it's like I do both. I do Envision, which is 7,000 or 8,000 people, and then, I do things at Punta Mona, which are 100 or 200 people, and then I do it, smaller retreats that are 30 or 40 people.
Right.
And I think it's kind of like, there's the medicine and there's the dosage. We all need the medicine,
Yes.
but we want to get at least the microdose to the masses. I think we want everybody to taste things like Envision, to come here and experience, the way it could be. But we also want people to go take this, and now what? What's next?
Exactly.
How do we start getting the tools? How do we take this to another level? How do we go deeper than we ever have? And I think that's where the smaller gatherings come into place. And I feel really good about what's happening here at Envision. I look around and I listen to the conversations and I hear the speakers and the feedback. People are breaking through, and I feel like, it's, everybody's on their journey, and it's not Envision that's doing it, but it's a really incredible catalyst, and it's really a interesting kind of collection of people breaking through together, because it's like we're all somewhere on the spectrum, somewhere on the spectrum of understanding. And I think that when we come together collectively and see so much and experience so much simultaneously, that there's just like a real kind of, thrust forward for just consciousness and humanity. It's like we're all tasting this together. It's like this is this energetic soup that we're all these ingredients in, and it's exciting. It's exciting to witness. It's exciting to be a part of it. It's exciting to see how it's going to unfold and what's next. It's like I just can't even believe it. I just can't believe all the communities that have started because of Envision. This whole area is kind of transformed. Uvita and Dominical and Platinillo area here in the Diamante Valley. It's like there's many communities starting because people who met at Envision. Not to mention all the babies that were made and all the couples that have started.
The medicine is spreading.
Yeah, it's happening.
Sure.
It's happening, and there's no stopping it. It's like kind of like a snowball. Like it's already happening. There's no stopping. Now all we have to do is just kind of be as intentional as possible to make it fully happen right.
Amazing. Let's talk about music for a second, because I know you're a lover of music.
Mm-hmm.
You play music. I've seen you on stage at the festival at Opportunities, jumping up and sharing the medicine of song. And when we talk about people converging in a space like this let's get the man some refreshments.
Thank
He's
you.
working hard. We talk about people receiving medicine like this at a level that perhaps is a microdose, or perhaps is at a level of consciousness or a level of awareness that's maybe new for them. What part does music play, in your opinion, in supporting the oneness, the integration?
Yeah, I think the music is fun. I think it's fun. And I think fun is really important to all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we ever start working too much, or we get too caught up in the work and we're not having fun, I think music reminds us to be free and to have fun. And for me, like such a big part of who I am was through my experience with the Grateful Dead. I had a really profound experience just traveling with the Grateful Dead and learning, and just that whole experience of really tasting community, what it meant for me. Like my first taste of real just intentional community was in the parking lots of the Grateful Dead concert. From city to city. And so I'm so grateful to that thing. The feelings that I get from the Grateful Dead, and yeah, it's so inspiring. And like, here at Envision, we do this thing, we do the Grateful Dead hour. So we have these speakers called Function Ones, but these Function One speakers are like real fancy speakers. And we do a whole Grateful Dead set through the Function Ones. And for me, it's the best set of the weekend. Because you see all these kind of like burner, kind of like, people have evolved since the Grateful Dead, but then all of a sudden you look around at the Grateful Dead hour and you look around and you see all these like people. Kind of like grungy burner kind of people. Now they're like out there getting their Grateful Dead on, and you can see it. They peel away those layers, and they're right back to their old hippie selves. And yeah, it's the music's incredible. A lot of the music in Envision I don't even really know. I'm not so involved in the music organization. I like a lot of it. Every year I'm turned on to new music. I'm really grateful to all the Latin American music, the Colombian and Costa Rican music that comes every year. New music. Our friend Luigi Jimenez organizes kind of the Latin talent, and every year I get turned on to new music, and it's amazing the level of talent. I also am really appreciative of the art. I don't know if you checked out the art gallery,
Yes, absolutely.
but the art gallery and just this the expression, and just how incredibly talented people are. And like, we're only at the beginning of seeing this talent, because for so long people were so busy just trying to like pay their bills, so they couldn't even do their art. Now like we're figuring it out, where maybe we don't have to just be like slaves to the paycheck. Maybe we could create spaces where artists could do their art, and that's what they do, as opposed to like being just like, constantly like hoeing your work, constantly like trying to make a song so you can sell it, or an art piece so you could sell it, but actually just kind of be honored for the art that you do. And now with like Patreon and all these different ways to start honoring the artists that you like, I think it's a really exciting time.
Yeah, and so I guess in a way, what I'm really tapping into that you're chatting about here is that is a part of the vision. That is a part of the new paradigm, where that expression is really liberated, it's supported, and it's part of what the community's fabric is based upon.
Totally. I mean, art and culture. I mean, it's like, what are we? What are we? And it's up to us. I mean, I think that's the key. Is it's like we have to be intentional. Like, we can design this.
Yes.
We can create this life. We can create these communities of our dreams, and they can include art, and they can include music, and they can include ritual, and they can include they can include sacred food, and they can include really honoring children and really honoring elders, and creating the space, both the physical and the structure to support children, and the structure to support elders, and the structure to support ritual, and to bring sacred back, into everything that we're doing. It's unbelievable. Like, I don't even go to the States that often, and I don't even meet normal people that often. I'd say the most normal people I ever meet is like on the airplane. And I'm always excited for the airplane, because it's such a rare opportunity to talk to somebody normal. The only kind of normal people I know are like Costa Rican farmer, campesino kind of. And they're pretty normal, But like, I never really just meet like a normal American housewife, or like a normal American. I don't meet those kind of people. So when I'm on the plane, I do, and I'm often just like, I guess I'm so inspired just by like how they're also seeing this, and how this is happening. And I don't. What's that guy whose name rhymes with dump?
I don't know that name. I've left that out of my
so there's this guy I heard about from the States whose name rhymes with dump, and how that all happened, I don't even know, because when I sit on the planes and I talk to all these people, I'm so often like incredibly impressed with just how enlightened they are, and how they realize how important food is, and health, and children, and it's like, so we're all it's like, this is happening collectively. There's no stopping it. It's like these downloads are coming. We can't hide. So I just want to be a part of helping usher them in, and really usher in a new way of doing things. And I'm most excited on the physical level. Like, I want to be able to find the land, purchase it, set up the water systems, plant the food, figure out financial structures that are legal, so that we still have one foot in the old paradigm. We still are in a way where you have like government and taxes and money, and it's still happening. So we have to keep legal enough that we could keep this going. We could keep doing this. And I'm waiting. I want to see everybody jump ship. It's like the book I'm writing is called Break Them Chains, a suburban guy's escape from the system.
Wow.
I want to see people jump ship, and really make that plunge and not be afraid. We sit at the edge of this precipice. We go to the edge of the cliff and we look down, and it looks beautiful and amazing, but yet we're so scared. We're so scared to jump in.
I'm so glad you brought up the normal people and the people that are not dialed into this, or the people that are starting to get dialed into this, because I was going to ask, what do you say to those people that are just, this is pie in the sky, this is a hippie gathering?
I try not to say anything. That's the key. Like, I mean, I just say what I say, but I don't like say it to them trying to tell them what to do. I think that's the key, is like,
you're living it.
I mean, they're not, but let them see how good, like, invite them into this world. Like, let them experience what it is that we're doing.
You're living it.
Yeah. And come to a place like La Ecovilla, where I live. It's not a hippie commune. It's an ecological neighborhood that's nice, and the houses are nice, and the children are cared for. They also have children, and they're want their children to thrive, you know? So it's like if you can offer and show an opportunity where their children can thrive, you know, I think that's what people are looking for, you know? And I think that you have to find, anytime you're talking to anyone that seems like it's real distant the way you're living, it's like you have to find that common ground, whether it's through children or through elders or through food or through health or through disease, or, you know, it's like we have these places where we can meet, and these crossroads where we have so much in common, you know? And the reality is we all want the same thing. We're all on the same path.
Well, that was going to be my last question. Thank you, Stephen, for sharing all your wisdom and just your inspiration. What is the ultimate vision for you at the end of your lifetime, at the end of this journey? Where do you want to see this?
How do I want them to eulogize when I lay I lay there in that compostable box?
Well, maybe that, but even, you know, the bigger expression of that. No, you're the visionary.
You know, right now I'm living in a community called La Ecovia. There's 45 families. I'm one of the co-founders. People from 25 countries. We just bought 170 acres next door. We own another 75 acres up the street. That's like another 25 families are involved. I mean, I want to help replicate this. I want to mass replicate this. You know, I look at like a fast food restaurant, or even like my friend started this hotel chain called Selena, and they've opened like 50 or 60 of them in 3 years. Yeah. I want to open 50 or 60 in 3 years of these communities.
Punta Mona.
No, not Punta Mona, more like Ecovia. But Punta Mona too, because it should be a part of it. You know, Punta Mona, what we're kind of transitioning into right now is like an ecoversity. You know, a training grounds for the new paradigm.
Yes.
You know, a place where you can learn about physically creating community while, you know, creating these, you know, ways of communication and finding ways that we could thrive.
Yeah. So those two things are very much linked.
Yeah. The communities, the education, the elders, the children, it's all part of the picture. And I want to see how can we, you know, swiftly and efficiently replicate this model all over.
Amazing. Thank you for your time, Stephen. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. It's a pleasure being here at this festival for the first time, experiencing it.
Awesome.
And may it be so.
Yes, may it be so. Baruch
Bringing
Hashem.
back the sacred.
Yes, brother. Thanks so much for your time.
Much love to you.
Let's go watch the sunset.
Let's go.